$8,000 at an interest rate of what?
29%.
29%. Come
Yeah.
on, man. That's.
I know.
I mean, at this point, I'm going to clearly say it. You got scammed. I'm sorry, mate. You got scammed. I'm tired of seeing people getting screwed over at a crazy price that is not being justified. Basta. Done. This is over. I want you now to take back control of your situation, and how you do that is by being mindful of your spend and setting yourself a plan. I don't want you to do that. We don't want you to do that. We're done. Are we done with this?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Welcome to Finance Action. My name is Romain, and together we'll dive into someone's personal finances, learning from their stories and taking action for their financial future. Follow me along as we discover the story of Rio. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. So Rio, let's look at your profile. So you are 28 years old, you're originally from LA, but currently live in Seattle, and you work as an armed security guard. Is that right?
I know.
Okay, awesome. As always, we like to start this show by understanding the way you feel about your own finances. Looking at our scale from chilling to Mayday, you've rated yourself as surviving.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What's the root of your finances? A little bit about your story, and who is Rio?
So Rio is a model / designer, influencer, and an artist. I'm actually trying to get scouted to become a model.
Okay.
From a modeling agency, and lately I just been doing TFP, which is like collaborations with local photographies in the area.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your roots. So you were mostly raised in LA.
Yeah.
How was your situation young, and how did you even learn about managing your finances?
So honestly, I haven't.
Okay.
That's why I'm here now, is because I feel like financially I am just complete mess right now.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the past, did you find yourself in tough spots?
I did. I found myself in situations where I was homeless.
Okay.
Couch surfed from friend's house to cousin's house, auntie's house, and then lost some friends. Some died from either drug overdose or homicide.
Ooh, okay.
So it was kind of rough. In LA, it's just kind of unpredictable.
I see.
I would say it's a lot different here.
So you've shifted yourself out of this situation that you were in LA, and now you're a new man, right? You're
new man, yeah.
Trying something new, kind of changing the person that you may have been at the past, and
reinventing myself. So my clothing brand that I have is called Intervention, because I want to actually bring this outlet light of my perspective of fashion to the world.
Okay.
And Intervention is me bringing my whole creative aspect on what I feel like fashion should be today.
Okay.
So
we hope you follow us through this story. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, this is your chance. We'll love to have you as we explore so many other different profiles. And let's move to our first section, which looks at your income and assets. So first, let's speak about your income. You work as an armed security officer at night, right? Pretty much, what do you do?
So you pretty much patrol the post. You sit there and make sure nobody steals copper.
Oh, on construction sites.
On the construction sites.
At night?
At night.
Oh, okay.
And they will sometimes bring you to a different location.
Okay. How much does that provide you?
Just 21 an hour.
21 an hour, and how many hours do you work a week?
36 a week.
Okay, 36 a week, so that brings your yearly income to about 36,000 pre-tax. So post-tax, net per month, you're bringing about 2,200. That doesn't sound fair. Yeah? Okay, so just so you know, for people of your age, the median in the United States, so 50% of that population does more than this amount, 50% less. The amount is about 51,000. So you are under in the second median, but you previously told me that you actually got a job yesterday, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Providence.
It's like a hospital? What do you do?
It's a hospital over there on Cap Hill.
Okay.
First Hill.
How much is that going to pay you?
It's supposed to pay $30 an hour.
Okay. And you're going to go full time on this?
Full time, 40 to 60 hours.
Oh, let's go. Okay. So that is going to bring you at, guess what? Almost $58,000 per year. So it's going to bring your monthly net to about 3,300. So that's pretty significant, huh? Wouldn't you think?
That would be amazing.
Let's go. All right, cool. So you know what? For the purpose of our analysis, we're going to ride as if you now have this position because it's probably going to be your future and we want to be as realistic as possible, okay? So that brings me to my next segment, which is your assets. So what I define as an asset is what you own, okay? And in your case, thank you very much, Rio, for providing us with your statements. Yeah. Looking at your checking account, my friend, your first balance on your checking is $49. A lot of transaction. We'll be discussing that in the expense section, but $49. You also have another checking account of $28 on it. Okay, and a final one, a saving at $100. So looking at your assets, my friend, right now you're working on a fine line. Do you have any other assets than that?
I don't.
Okay, so your current assets in your pocket of liquidity, money that you can use right now, is about $180. We want to get you out of this spot because this, especially in certain situations, can flip very fast if something was to arise, okay?
Yeah.
So in terms of assets, $180. And you mentioned you don't own anything else.
No. Just my bed and table stand and kitchen table, couch in the living room.
Okay.
Well, clothes too.
Some of them the clothes and
I don't lease any clothes.
Okay, but you lease a bunch of other things, my friend, and we'll be discussing on that, okay? Leasing is probably not the best way. Okay, well, let's move on to our next section, Rio, which looks at your expenses and your debt. The first expense that I want to tap into is rent. How much do you pay for rent per month?
I pay about $1,300.
$1,300 a month, okay. Yeah. But you have additional help.
I do.
On that? Okay.
Housing essential needs.
Oh, okay. What does that consist of?
So basically what it does is it pays $1,000 each month.
For you?
For me through Catholic Community Services, which is partnered with DSHS, which is like Department Social Health Services.
Okay. How long have you benefited that from?
Almost a year and 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Not that long. But
So this is exceptional for you. I think I want you as much as you can, reasonable. If you hit the jackpot, maybe it's not the best to tap into some of the charity or help that you're getting. But this is really good because it brings pretty much your housing expenses to less than 10%.
Yeah.
And we like it to be lower than 28%. So good job on that front. You're doing great because of that housing expense, okay?
Yeah.
So make sure that you keep that going. We're going to move on to another type of expense, which is very important, transportation. So Rio, tell me. So do you own a car?
I do not. I rent or lease my vehicle.
Okay, so you own a loan on a car pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. What car do you drive?
A Jetta 2009.
Jetta 2009. Okay, how many miles does it have?
145,000.
145,000. Okay. How much did you pay for it?
Put a down payment of $1,200.
Okay.
Down on that car.
Cool. And how much did you buy it for?
I think it was like $6,000. So the lease is like probably 29%. So
hold on.
It brought it up to $8,000. Because
when I was looking at the paperwork. So you currently own $8,000 on your car? Okay. $8,000 at an interest rate of what?
29%.
29%. Come on, man.
I know.
That's crazy. Okay, 29% on a 2009 car that you own 8,000 on. I mean, it's
pretty bad.
It's as worse as it gets, man. Because right now, if I look at the if I look at the Kelly Blue Book value on it, so the value of the market for that car, if you were to sell it, it's about $4,000.
Wow. Yeah, they got me good.
Where did you buy your car?
I got it from a small-owned dealership.
Okay. You definitely didn't get the greatest deal on this, mate.
Yeah.
So at home, guys, like I'm seeing too many people getting. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna clearly say it. You got scammed. I'm sorry, mate. You got scammed. I'm tired of seeing people getting screwed over by selling cars at a crazy price that is not being justified. Now, I understand, and this is where they get you, is because you probably at the time couldn't qualify or pay cash for a car and you need transportation.
Yeah.
Okay, please, 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 if you need a car and you are in a tough financial spot, this is like the last case scenario because you know you're getting there to be in a, really kind of, they take advantage of your situation. They have to make money somehow, I understand. But come on, don't sell my friend here an $8,000 car when it's worth $4,000, please. Huh?
Exactly.
So if you can, at home, try to save a little bit of money. Go on them Facebook Marketplace and find me a car that is between $1,000 to $4,000, a bidder, I don't care, something that drives, that gets you from A to B until you can stack a little bit more money and increase to something maybe a little bit more reliable. But going like this is a financial disaster. It's a financial disaster, and I'm going to tell you what, how much you pay of interest per month on this car is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to your transportation expense, you drive quite a bit as well, right? On
I do.
gas, I guess, for your work. How much you spend on gas per month?
Like 300
Okay.
something.
Okay.
It's like 76 to 80 each time you fill up the tank.
And how much you spend on insurance?
Insurance for Geico is about 190.
So just, in car expenses per month, you're spending almost $700.
Yeah.
This brings your percentage to your monthly income to 30%.
Dang.
We want it to be at 15%.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a big tackle for you, okay? Right now you've put yourself in a spot where it's not like you really can get out of it.
Yeah.
But why did you even buy that car at that time? What was going through your mind?
So what happened was I had a Hyundai Elantra 2018.
Oh, nice.
And I was actually in a bad deal with that one too. So I made the mistake and got another car because I was like, I need this car for work. And they repossessed it while I was at work. So it was pretty bad.
Yeah, so you didn't pay your loans.
I didn't pay it on time. I think I was like 1 or 2 months behind, and they were just like not having it. And they just straight up took my stuff with all my stuff in the trunk.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was
So kind of an emergency spot. You need transportation. Let's take the first one that comes, huh?
pretty much. I took my paycheck from my security job and just put it like $1,200 down on that Jetta, and that's when I got put in that situation of that car with that bad interest rate. And by that time it was too late because unless you can figure out how to somehow charge off debt, you're stuck financially in that position.
Okay, fair. Just not the best situation. We're gonna try to get you out of this, okay?
Yeah.
Now, let's look a little bit at the rest of your expense reel. And for someone that makes $20 an hour at the time, as I look into your statement, you're living quite the high life, my friend. Huh? If I look at some of your expense here, Express, clothing shop, $280, South Center, Tukwila, $110. I know you're fashion, and we can see that our friend here is definitely into fashion, but don't spend a fortune on this.
It's true.
No, not when you're stacking on $100 on your checking account, man. Why do you even buy those?
So the reason I have bought it, and I think it was like an impulse buy. I had purchased it because I wanted to invest into my clothing brand, but honestly, realistically, I should have invested into embroidery machine or something and just did it myself, or some type of direct to print, like cheaper option.
You just cannot do this. Please, follow me along.
Yeah.
This is not in your situation. You're making $100,000 a year and you want to go and buy yourself a $400 suit, the sum of which here, okay, go. Anecdotically, and not every week.
Yeah.
But not at $20 an hour, dude. This is tens of hours of work. This is tens of hours of work. You sitting in your car looking at, the security just for like a suit. There are so many better options. You should go to don't get me wrong, but like I love Goodwill and just get a shot at this
Yeah.
and see if even the print works great and so on. Go through your testings and stuff. Okay. Moving on. You spend a fortune outside heating. I mean, $33 on bowls, Panda Express, $16, Sonic, Happy Lemon. Whew. I mean, Starbucks. You're going out quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm never at home.
What do you mean you're never at home?
When I'm home, like I just sleep.
Okay.
So, kind of being on the go, you don't really have time to make food. But then again, it's like, I should have just used my food at the house, but sometimes it's like I'm moving so much that it's like how
you just can't do that. And then I see other type of expenses on like PlayStation.
Yeah.
$66, dude.
Yeah,
What?
I know.
What is this?
It's so when you have a PlayStation 5, it's a subscription. So
for what?
So you pay for online. You know how Xbox Live has like Xbox
Gold
Live,
and so on. Yeah.
PlayStation has PlayStation Plus. So you can't access certain games
For $66 a month.
Yeah, or not a month. A year.
Okay, and that's kind of one of your hobby, I would say.
It's just for my off time, if I'm like wanting to play a video game, if I want to relax, it's that entertainment thing for me.
Okay. Speaking of entertainment, I see an expense for about $150 for a Krav Maga place. You also
Krav Maga, yeah.
Okay. You is that every month?
That's every month.
Okay.
For unlimited courses, and I go like 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay. Does that provide you like a balance in your life or something? Like, does it?
It provides self-discipline.
Okay. I will. You know what? I will take that. We'll account for that type of expense. But let's move on to some of your debt situation. So here we have an interesting case with Rio, because Rio loves to buy material goods on leases, and you use crazy interest leases at shops that it's a demon. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start first. Your phone. I see a balance of $1,200 for phones. 15% interest. You have $773 worth of credit card debt as well, Rio, for some mostly unnecessary expenses, my friend, at an interest rate of around 30% too. Okay, so here, while the amount of total debt that you have is not crazy, you have very high interest rates debt, and we don't want that, okay?
Yeah.
And then you decided to go to Best Buy, and you ended up buying a TV and a laptop.
Yeah.
Some goes to $2,500, dude. 20% interest. No. It's crazy. Why do you rely so much on interest? Why do you decide to go this route?
It was because I had got approved for it, and I think when you get approved for like loans or some type of like credit thing, you just kind of impulsively do it if you need the material. Like my laptop is for school because I'm in coding dojo.
Okay,
for Colorado Technical University. I start May 15th. I got the laptop so that way I could approve like my financial situation and use it for financial education. But the TV, it's a gaming TV.
Okay.
And I got an open box used. But it's still, it was a good deal at the time. But still, financially, I probably shouldn't have.
At home and for you as well, Rio, those loans, please think that they do not exist. This is how consumption in America, they get you. Because they're like, oh yeah, you can buy now and then, see you in 2 months, 0% interest for 2 months, which is probably the case here as I looked at the statements. And then, boom, they get you in the back when you're not paying them, and then you're getting slammed with crazy interest.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you're going to have to pay it at some point, except if you ruin your credit score, go into collection, and then it's another story. Just very briefly, there are 2 types of debts. There is good debt and there is bad debt. Good debt for me is going to be a mortgage, okay? Because you're creating equity, student loan, to a certain extent, in your case, you have about $8,000 of student loan for your coding. You're increasing your earning potential. Yes, no problem. Go for student loan as long as you use it for your studies in a smart way and you don't take that amount and go party or spend on uselessness. Now let's move on to bad debt. Credit card debt. Rio, it's awful. It's awful. Please do never take credit card debt except if you have an emergency. But that's the only reason. If you want to buy a trip to Hawaii on your credit card and you can't pay it, forget about it. Forget about it. Those are short-term leases and so on. Also forget about those. Those are they are backdoor kickers. They expect for you. They are crossing their fingers. You don't pay for the first couple months free and they attract you like this. And then I told you, they get you in the back. Other type of debt, I mean, in your case, your car is at 30%. This is really tough, man. I mean, a car debt should be at an interest in a good environment. You want to be between 3 to 7, okay? 30% is insane. Anything that is not mortgage or student loan is bad debt, especially if it's higher than 10%. Okay, that's really bad. And we want to take care of those, okay? Yeah, you spend a lot on superflux, on things that are, for the most part, not truly necessary. So we can make efforts on this together so that we can look towards accomplishing some of your short-term goals and dreams, okay?
Okay.
But that brings me, Rio, to my next segment, which is the money case. All right, and we are back for the money case segment for our friend Rio. So as we spoke together, you realize that you're actually stacking on small amounts of debt, but I want for you to visually realize how much you're spending per month on interest, which means money that you're throwing to the garbage, that you're not paying anything back, you're just throwing it in terms of to the bank, okay?
Okay.
Rio, you're not spending $100 a month on nothing. You're not spending $200. You're spending $275 a month on interest. A lot of which is your car at a almost 30% interest rate and all those shit loans here that you've accumulated. Like this, my friend, is what you used to make $20 an hour, but now you're going to make $30 an hour. But this is 10 hours of work right here. And I'm even thinking pre-tax. So it's more than 10 hours of work that you're throwing on nothing for small decisions like this that could be avoided.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to have to ask you, and this is a tradition sometimes on our show, to take this money, Rio, realize how much you're spending a month, my friend, and literally throw it to the garbage. Because this is what you do every month, dude. I don't want you to do that. We don't want you to do that. We're done. Are we done with this?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then let's move on to our next section. So, Rio, we are back, and now I want to bring you my recommendations. So I'm not a financial advisor. This is what I would do if I was in your seat today based on our discussion, the expense that we've identified together, and a little bit about your life. Okay? Yeah. So how I organize my thoughts is fairly simple. Your expenses should be thought of in 3 categories. Your needs, your wants, and the last one that I call gold. Remember, gold is the most important one. Your needs is the money that you need to survive. Okay? In your case, Rio, thanks to the government help that is helping you out with housing and so on, your needs sum per month to about $1,500. So at $1,500, your needs equal to 45% of your future income. We want it to be below 50%. So you're good thanks to the government help, okay? Yeah. Try to get this as long as you can. 2, your wants. You're spending a fortune on unnecessary expenses. The Sonic, the bubble tea, the Starbucks, all of that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. But what I'm allowing you though is I'm okay for you to go to Krav Maga. $150 a month, go for it because it gives you that balance. And I'm also giving you about $50 extra per month, but that's it, for other type of expenses, and that could include
Yeah.
anything from, some of maybe the clothes that you want to buy and so on. And it's not
True.
a lot, and I realize that. But you have $100 on your account, man. You can't live like this. Something arises, touching good. An emergency comes. I don't want you to live that.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm only allowing you $200 a month on others. Okay?
Okay.
So how much does that leave you? That leaves you more or less per month. I want you to think that you want to save $1,500 per month. Okay? This is going to be your number one goal. Why? Because you are going to increase your income, as we discussed. So you're going to have a much more income than you have right now. A lot of which I want you to pump it towards your savings. Okay? To that gold category that we've discussed together. Okay? You follow me along?
Yeah.
Okay. So with $1,500 a month, number one, is that realistic?
1,500. Oh, for the savings, yes. Yes, it is.
Because don't forget, you used to make $2,200 per month, but now, starting next week, you're going to make $3,300.
Yeah, that's very true.
So you're going to have much greater income.
Yeah.
And I want you to be more mindful of those expenses here that are not necessary. Okay?
Yeah.
So with $1,500 a month, I want you to start paying back your debt. This is going to be key number one. And the way I want you to pay back your debt is the highest interest first. Highest interest first.
Yeah.
Okay? For you, because your debt are not so high in terms of the total amount, it's only going to take you 7 months. 7 months.
Wow.
And you're debt-free.
Wow.
7 months and you're debt-free. And you're a new man. You're a new page. A new guy. A new story. But you have to be very conscious of your spend. Those little expenses that you make, restaurants and so on, that can no longer exist. What I want you to do is, please prepare your food. Prepare your food, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna save a ton of money. You have hundreds of dollars on things that today I don't want you to have.
Yeah.
And in 7 months, if you play it smart, assuming you're able to follow the budget that we've put together here, you're a new man. From that point, what I want you to do is Finance 101. What I mean by that is to put money aside as an emergency fund. It's 3 to 6 months of your needs. In your case, I want you to start with $5,000 on the side that you put money aside that you never touch. Never touch. This is money if something arises, like your car situation that broke down or something, or that you got repossessed.
Yeah.
You're not going to go and get screwed again by someone that destroys you and takes advantage of you. No more. That's it. You're done with that. You've been done once. You're already giving money, a crazy amount of money per month to all those banks and on. Basta. Done. This is over. I want you now to take back control of your situation, and how you do that is by being mindful of your spend and setting yourself a plan. $1,500 a month. Can you do this?
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to that, here I did not account for your expected income of your modeling. Okay. I'm hoping maybe through a video that someone will reach out, but I know you already have multiple gigs. So I'm not accounting for that extra income in my calculations. So $1,500 per month for you should be achievable. It's the target. It's the target. No matter what it takes, you're going to be a different person with a different trajectory. You've had a tough life. You were homeless at some point. That's it. You have the financial literacy. You have the numbers. You have the income. You can do it. What are you going to do?
Save.
Yeah? Are you going to be mindful of some of those expenses?
Definitely going to be real mindful preparing food.
Okay. So this is what I have for you. You know, our show is Financial Actions. In 6 months, I'm going to call you. I'm taking this date of today. And I want you to tell me, Romain, I'm done with my debt, except for your student loans. I'm okay for you to carry it until you have to pay it, because you don't have to pay it yet. But in 6 months, you take action. You pay those stupid loans here. And I call you back and you're like, I did it. Because I'm going to be on you, man. I'm going to follow up with you. And then in 1 year, you have $5,000 saved on the side. That's it. Now you can talk about your ideas. You can start about your business.
True.
Do you have any final remarks, Rio, as we wrap up a little bit our discussion here together, mate?
the whole financial aspect of my life could be like emotionally like a roller coaster, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what was I thinking, putting myself in that situation or debt?
Yeah.
Now I just gotta tackle it.
I want that. I want that for you. I want that for switching your life. You've gone out of a path that could have been very dark, and you're shining today with the pink suits and so on. I love your style. I love your idea, and I'm really hopeful that you're gonna get this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you again so much for following us on Finance Action. We hope you learned a lot from the story of our friend here, Rio. We encourage you, if you would like to follow other stories, to like and subscribe, and we see you guys next time. À bientôt.